Welcome back, everyone, to ITTV, your number one spot for all of your Arkham news. And today we're kind of doing some old stuff and a little bit of new, and we're calling it a Rocksteady roundup because most of these things have something to do with Rocksteady
Yeah.
in some form or fashion. But yeah, let's first start off with a couple pieces of old news. Um, and I think first we should talk about the stuff that got leaked out for the Damian Wayne game. Let's
Yeah,
get
this
that
was
get
this
that
was
out of the
rather
way.
recent. Um,
Um, I'm trying to remember if I'll look on Arkham Video's account on Threads. I'm sure he's got a whole post for these. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what these look like because I'm having a little. It's a little fuzzy in my head, but
It was the gist of it that I'm remembering is it was Batman on a
oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, it was
on a
on
bat cycle, and he
a
was kind of
motorbike.
doing a drift.
Yeah, there's a few ones here. There's Batman kind of drifting, and there's like some side profiles of the bike and stuff, and even like these two look like it's just the bike in like Microsoft Paint or whatever. Like they're just texturing it and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on it? Because I don't really have too many off the top that I can.
Dude, I think it looks terrible.
You were terrible? You think it looks
I
terrible?
mean, I hate the suit. I get it's Batman Beyond, but like it could have been. I just wish it was more of a simpler design, more pleasing to look at. And I mean, it was WB Montreal, so it probably would have been not good. No offense. Like, I know there's a lot of. They really care about what they're doing, but the product from WB Montreal has never been there when they make their own game. The quality is just not there.
When they make their own game, like, I mean, when they work on somebody else's game, like Arkham City and stuff, it's like, it's there,
Pretty good. And then they even did Batgirl Matter of Family, and it's like, I mean, canonically, it's really messy, like really messy. But
yeah,
the actual DLC is fine. Like it's
yeah,
good.
it's fun to play for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
like
don't.
I'm looking at this and it's just like this does not look anything Batman adjacent is what I'm
No,
getting from this. It just looks like a random Tron motorcycle or even Terminator motorcycle.
I was just gonna say Terminator. Just gonna say that.
Or ripped right out of the future. Well, I guess
Literally.
that's fitting. But the model I can excuse just because like this isn't the final product. Like
Yeah.
this is probably just what they had pulled from like the Arkham Knight. Like this is just the Arkham Knight model, so they were probably using that just as a
Yeah. It's
reference
true.
point. So
Yeah.
I still think the designs that they had for the Damian Wayne bat suit still look terrible, but
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, this whole game's like design philosophy just I don't get it. Like I don't get why this was even an idea. I don't get why any art of this exists at all, but people still want it, and I'm just
And
like,
people are fooling themselves if they think that looks good. I'm sorry.
God, it's not great. None of this
Batman
is.
Beyond game would be cool, but not that way.
No, not as Damian Wayne anyway, or any of
Hell
the stuff
no.
they had going for, like any of the
What a
concepts they
horrible
had
idea.
for. I know, like just stop.
It's
No.
sad to me that everyone in the Batman mythos, for the most part, has been used. Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, um, Damian Wayne obviously would have existed, and I think he does exist in the Arkhamverse in some weird way, shape, or form, in my opinion. Um, but we've never seen Terry McGinnis outside of Batman Beyond or the DC animated universe as a whole.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, he's the perfect Batman. He's everything Bruce Wayne couldn't be. Like, why wouldn't you want to use that to your advantage? Terry McGinnis is such a popular Batman. And people love Batman Beyond. People of all ages love Batman Beyond. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you go for a actual Batman Beyond game with Terry McGinnis?
right.
It's like the perfect game. It literally like you have so much you can do with that.
I'm honestly convinced at this point that WB just hates Batman Beyond. Like they just,
I think they just hate Batman too.
yeah, I mean, they want to milk this. They only use main Batman just to milk the shit out of him. But
Right.
Batman Beyond has had it rough since his series
Horribly.
ended back in the 2000s. Like in video games, he's only had one, which was on the N64 and the PlayStation. That game is awful.
Yeah.
Um, he's been skins in other games like Justice League Heroes, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and like it's just been a repeating thing, and he hasn't had his due diligence. And it's been sad because it's just like every time there's a rumor about something, it's always just the worst possible scenario. Like, ooh, we're gonna get a Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton. That sounds awesome. Done. We don't like that universe failed. We don't need that. Well, shit.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, there's possibility of them doing an animated movie similar to Spider-Verse. That's
Oh, I
awesome.
was
I
just
would
gonna
love to
bring that
see
up.
that. Nope, stick it in the trash. That pitch sucked. Well, fuck. It's
Dude,
just,
and when it clearly looked objectively awesome.
it looked amazing. I
It
would have
did.
loved, I would have killed somebody for that. But WB was
Yep.
just like, nope,
No,
we don't
we're not
need
gonna
it.
focus on that.
No, we don't need it. So,
You know how much money that fucking movie would have made?
oh my
Holy
God.
shit. It would I think it totally would have done Spider-Verse numbers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Um,
Ugh, Batman Beyond is a forgotten IP that the fans know is a money bag. Fans love Batman Beyond, but WB hates him for some reason.
it's sad that the best thing that we've gotten of Batman Beyond since the original show was him showing up in Crisis, voiced
Mhm.
by his original voice actor,
Yes.
Will Friedle. That's it. And he's only on screen for maybe a minute and has
That's
like maybe
sad.
one piece of dialogue, one sentence. And it's just like he deserves so much more.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just sad.
it's absolutely terrible.
Ugh, God. We need something with Batman Beyond at some point.
Yeah,
Um, and I think a video game would be awesome. We'll talk about that a little later because
yeah.
people think the next game is going to be Batman Beyond, and some people think it's going to be something else, and we'll talk about that. But let's go
Yeah, I
over
don't
some
know.
other let's go over some other Rocksteady stuff that came out a while ago. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was James Gunn, the head of DC, or one of the heads of DC,
Yeah,
co-head, I guess you could say. He's been in talks with both Rocksteady and NetherRealm Studios about making more DC games.
yeah. I mean, that's great.
Yeah. I'm glad that he's, going to these people and is just like, hey, we could do something with this.
Yeah,
We could make games, we can do whatever. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's for sure gonna be like they could have Rocksteady do like something related to DCU. They could have NetherRealm do like maybe something with DC in a way. Maybe not Injustice, but I feel
he's
like
not
from this
unjust.
from this conversation and from what people were saying, I feel like it's just going to be the way that WB is going to get down to it. It's just going to be let's do another Arkham game and let's do Injustice 3 because
Definitely.
fuck it. Yeah. Because we have no originality. So just get to work on it. Yeah. The Rocksteady thing could go anywhere, but I think for another realm, it's just like, hey, that Injustice thing was popular for a time. We should make Injustice 3. And Ed Boon's going to be like, sure, whatever. So
Right.
yeah, because I don't imagine them doing like a DCU fighting game for whatever reason. I don't see that
Yeah.
as a thing. They could use characters from that and mix them up in the Injustice universe, but I just feel like it's just going to be Injustice. But I'm really curious what kind of games they talked about with Rocksteady though, because like I said, that can go any number of ways. What do you think?
Um, I think we're just gonna get a repeat.
Yeah,
I think James Gunn. Here's the problem with this: is that James Gunn knows what DC has to offer.
Yeah.
With other characters, like I'm sure I know James Gunn loves Batman Beyond. I'm sure he would love to delve into Batman Beyond. But you know what? James Gunn knows that the uncertainty for David Zaslav is, well, Batman Beyond probably won't make money. So James Gunn's probably like, okay, backseat. Let's talk
Yeah.
to Rocksteady about making an Arkham game. And if Rocksteady does it, then there's a name there and we'll make more money. And David Zaslav is happy and everyone gets paid. And the same thing with NetherRealm. It's like, well, we make Injustice 3. Like, I'm sure James Gunn would rather do other games,
Yeah.
but he's probably like, okay, well, the first two Injustices did great, and WB needs money, so I have the power to kind of spearhead what's going on. So I'm going to talk to NetherRealm about doing Injustice 3 because we're going to make a lot of money from that.
Hmm.
And WB's in such crap that that's all that's being thought about.
True.
Um, So I think that's the main reason we're getting a repeat. And I mean, I know that people believe that, like, well, Arkham and Injustice were successful, so we know that those work, and we're gonna do that. But like, I mean, fans like you and me, we're tired. Honestly, I mean, I don't want another Injustice game.
I mean,
Another
yeah.
Arkham game, maybe for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Injustice, though, it's like,
It's like, is it fun to fight your friends? Yes, that's fun. Is it fun to do it with DC characters? Yes, but the games overall are not good. So like,
yeah,
why would I want another one of those when NetherRealm could do so much more?
I feel like just with Injustice and like it's the biggest thing Injustice had going against it was its narrative. And
Right.
that's such a shame because that's the thing that people gravitate to the most with that was, oh, Injustice has this big layered story. And it's just like it's not really that. It's just like it's all bullshit when you really look at
Yeah,
it. It's just
it is.
all contrived fucking bullshit to where we need Superman to be an evil antagonist and we need Batman to be the courageous hero that he is. Just like it's all
Yeah.
this is a scenario that never is in any continuity. Like we can have an evil Superman or whatever, but not to this level. And
Yeah.
it got worse and worse and worse as it was coming out.
Yeah.
So hopefully if they do make another Injustice game, I hope James Gunn has a lot of influence on it to kind
Me
of
too.
with the story, particularly where he's able to contort it in a way to where it satisfies whatever plot lines they had going for it, but overall it's just a better product of a narrative than we'd gotten beforehand.
Yeah.
But
And I mean,
yeah,
the Injustice works with the idea too that like it's all about multiple universes. So, I
yeah,
mean, Kevin Conroy's not with us anymore too. So like you can't use that Batman, but you can use another Batman.
yeah,
So that would work for it in its favor. Um, and that would also make it so that like you could take the story narrative in a totally different direction.
yeah. I'm just like, if they're not set on using Kevin for like that version of Batman because he was voiced by Kevin, I could see like a scenario where like the evil Superman like uses the Brainiac chip from the evil ending to cross the multiverse to try and take over other worlds.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It's just I'm so sick and tired of Injustice Superman
me too.
and how
Hate him.
much he absolutely destroyed the reputation of Superman during the 2010s. And
Oh god, it was horrible.
I don't know. It's just, they've been on a good streak like since 2020 or whatever when, Superman and Lois was coming out. Like they've been doing really good with Superman.
Yeah, they have.
And I just don't ever want to see evil Superman Injustice, all that shit again and
Me
just have
neither.
it ruin what we have going for us right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are saying like maybe it could be in an alternate reality, and I'm like, I don't see that happening. Not really, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. This whole thing is just it's all up in the air. But I feel like if anything does come of this with Rocksteady and NetherRealm. We're definitely going to get Injustice 3, and we're probably going to get another Arkham game. So,
Yeah.
I know we kind of went on a tangent with Injustice, but
No, it was deserved.
yeah. But let's talk about something else that came out with Rocksteady that absolutely pissed me off when I saw it. So, remember back years ago when there were rumors of Rocksteady making a Superman game?
I do remember this.
And they told us they weren't making it. And, we had a hope, like maybe at some point this could be a possibility. Turns out we were wrong. Because it
Ugh.
turns out that Rocksteady wants nothing to do with Superman. They don't want to make a game with Superman. And they think that Superman is a boring character.
Yep.
Which just goes to show how much the reputation was already soured by the time, the early 2010s to 2020, when that started. Injustice and the DC EU fucked Superman
Yeah.
and in everybody's eyes. And that's just sad. So
Here's the thing. It's like you could tell anyone that any superhero was boring based off of one interpretation.
right.
So you could easily say Batman's boring. Well, he's so stupid. Like he waltzes around in a bat costume and all he does is beat up criminals to a pulp who are mentally ill, and all because his parents got shot and he can't deal with it. Well, it's like, well, that's not really the whole story. There's
No.
so much more to Batman than that. There's so many more stories. And it's like, that's not Batman. So then you look at Superman and it's like, what has Rocksteady even read any Superman? Like, why would they not, right? You'd
Yeah.
expect, like, oh, they're all comic book fans. They've been involved with Batman for like almost at this point upwards 20 years almost.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, they haven't. Like, you haven't read for all seasons, All Star. I mean, uh, for for the man who has everything. I mean, um, like any of that, American
No.
Alien. Like, but he's boring. All those stories are multi-layered character dives.
Yeah.
So, or even you could go a step further and be like, well, you don't even need to read the comics. Have you watched Superman and Lois, which was hot shit for the past couple of years?
Yeah. Like
Anything, just anything. So it's
Christopher
like
Reeve,
Christopher Reeve.
the
I mean, my
animated
personal
series,
favorite,
like
Smallville. Like,
he's not just
there's
like
so many interpretations that got Superman's character at the core and made people understand that Superman isn't just this like boring, super all powerful being.
yeah.
Like, that's not him at all.
No.
And the one thing that I'm hopeful for in the future is that because James Gunn understands that, is that other people will catch on and hopefully someone wants to make a Superman game. Like, that's my hope. I really want a Superman game. I've wanted it for years, and I know that you would like to play it as well. I mean, if we ever got one.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, who wouldn't want to be Superman in a game? It's the closest we can get too is honestly the best we've gotten is Lego Batman as playing as Superman.
Yeah. Or
And that's crazy.
what's that game called? Undefeated or something, Untampered, where it's like it's not Superman, but it basically
But it
is.
basically is.
Yeah, it's basically Superman. Yeah. It's like it's Undefeated. I forgot the name of the game. It's fun. You should go try it out. But yeah, it's even stranger because when you look at what they made for Suicide Squad, they made a Metropolis that looks amazing. I love
Yeah.
the look of Metropolis in that game. And the Superman character, pre-mind control, I'd say was mostly on point to Superman, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
They had Lois Lane, they had Lex Luthor, they had all of that. They had all of those assets there. They could have made a Superman game, made it good, but then they were just like, no, we're just gonna have the Suicide Squad in there, you
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about Superman and his
Yeah.
shit. Let's just make a clone that's just an absolute asshole that murders Wonder Woman and all this crap, and they
It's
had
sad that
Nolan
they
North
think
too.
that's the reason. That's the way to make him interesting. When that's like, that is the most boring thing you can do to Superman.
Yeah,
And
I don't
they ruined their chance.
I don't get, like, thinking back to when, the DCU, Man of Steel, all that stuff was going on, and just years later, how so many people were so convinced that, like, Superman was such a developed character when those movies were coming out, and that
Oh my
how,
god.
Injustice and like, it was so profound on his character to what came before, and it's just like, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Superman's not a
And
sad sack piece of shit, and he's not some crazy asshole that, like, if he loses his one true love, he's just gonna burn everything to the ground.
yeah.
That's not Clark, and
No.
like, this is not the same person that was raised by Ma and Pa Kent, and that was sent from Krypton with the belief that, like, he could make a difference in the world that he was sent to. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But
And a Superman. Can we please get back to the days when Superman never saw himself as a god? Like, like I, that was like Zack Snyder's Superman and Injustice Superman. He has this high horse of like, well, I have these powers, so this is what I am. Whereas like Superman is actually, oh, I have these powers, but like I'm just Clark Kent from Kansas.
yeah, it's just like, I have
Like,
these powers, and, like, I just want to make a difference. I want to help
yeah.
everyone. It's just like, no, it's just like, I'm going to use these powers for my own good to take over the planet. It's just like, no,
Like, how can you not find
stop.
that more interesting? How can someone say, "Oh, well, the guy who has godlike powers doesn't see himself as a god and actually doesn't use his powers for any personal gain, and he also doesn't think of himself as the guy with powers." When in a world where everyone else does think of him that way, he's just like, "I don't get why they say this about me." So it's like, where did that go? Why did it go? And it's like Superman, I think there was always a stigma of like some people who didn't read comics of like Superman is boring, but Superman's like one of the best-selling superheroes ever. So obviously, people, sorry, I
It's fine.
accidentally muted. Not that many
It's
people think
fine.
he's that boring. So it's just a popular thing that's been obviously making headlines for a while of like Superman's boring, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
just,
shame that Rocksteady of all game developers who, you know, got understood Batman's core values so well, um, just completely missed the mark on Superman. And it's a
yeah.
shame because Rocksteady would have made a bitchin' Superman game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like, I would have loved to, if that were a possibility of them making a Superman game, I would have loved to see what they would come up with.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I know that in heyday Rocksteady, they would have made, like, just
Oh, that would have been
the
awesome.
Superman game for sure. So
Absolutely. And I'm curious how this view of Superman has changed over time with Rocksteady because I don't know how Sefton Hill feels about Superman. Um, because all this stuff was said long after Sefton Hill left Rocksteady. This is current Rocksteady management.
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't. Maybe they would have made a Superman game eventually. I really don't know.
I know that they're saying this now, and then the movie's going to come out, and people in the offices are going to get interested, and then they're going to realize they made that quote, and it's just like, fuck. Like,
Yep.
they're going to regret it at some point or another.
Like
So
I made a mistake.
yeah, I fucked up. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I don't get it. Like, this view from, you're right, the guys that understood Batman to a T, and made some of the greatest superhero games ever. They were just like, you know what? No, fuck Superman. Fuck him. Everything he
Yeah.
stands for. Like, just,
Like
uh,
like the guy that is Batman's best friend in the comics is so boring. I
yeah.
mean, like the character that you got so well loves this guy. There I don't know. It's just so backwards. It's crazy. It's a shame though, because we were kind of robbed in a way of like having a great Superman game from a great developer at the time. Only time will tell where Rocksteady goes from here because they have, the option and ability to reinvigorate their name in
And yeah,
DC.
and who
So,
knows if at all when we'll ever get the next Superman game in any, or whoever will decide to take that mantle and make something.
yeah.
Hopefully,
I hope it's
good.
soon. I mean, hopefully, I really hope come this July that Superman has like a huge spike in popularity within the general public, and people want a Superman game. Like that'd be great. So
Yeah.
I think that's my thoughts on that topic.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
I know
so.
that when I saw that, I was like, we have definitely a whole lot to say about this because
Yeah,
you out of both of us, you're the Superman guy. So
yeah,
I knew that you were just going to have a very strong opinion about this, and it
yeah,
was definitely worth bringing up for discussion. Um, so I forgot to talk about something with Arkham Shadow.
yeah. No, we got to talk about that too.
Um, they had a final update. Their Game of the Year update had come out,
Yes.
and they added some things. Like they added some new difficulties, or they added one new difficulty, I should say. They added "I Am the Night," which I don't know why anybody would bring that back, but I'm I'm glad somebody's making an attempt and hopefully making it better. But
Yeah,
they also had some new challenge maps, um, some I think some ones that might have been returning from other games.
yeah.
I'm kind of blanking on it a little bit. They also had a new cosmetic for Batman when you won 100% the game, which is not the greatest, but it's something.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just the 240 skin on Arkham Shadow Batman. But
Ah, so stupid.
yeah, I know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would love to see something with. I mean, we talked about this in the other ITTV, but I would love to see something else with Camouflage doing something with Batman. Maybe another Arkham VR game. I think
I was
that'd be
just gonna
really
say
cool.
that too. I mean, that would be awesome. Um, I haven't played this yet. You've been the only one so far. I mean, obviously Caden has as well, but
Caden,
out of the
yeah,
two of us, you're the
yeah.
only one
I've
that's played it.
I've not finished it. I've gotten far in, I wanna say about halfway through, but, um, yeah, it's been a while since I picked it up, but now I'm just kind of in a mood to try it again and hopefully get to the end here at some point because I wanna
Yeah,
talk about it on the podcast. Um, yeah, it's a great game, and they just all Camouflage deserve all the praise they got. The awards they won for this game, like, they just knocked it out of the park, and, yeah, I'm so happy for them, and I can't wait to see what they do next with their company, what they end up making, whether it's Batman or whatever other game they decide to crack at. But um, I'm trying to think if there's any other news bits that we might have missed out on. I don't know if you want to talk about this here, but do you want to talk about the monolith thing, or I guess we should.
yeah. No, we do. No, let's talk about that.
All right. So this isn't Arkham related.
Not
It's
not
more
official
WB
art.
games. The Wonder Woman game is not coming out
Gone.
anymore.
It's gone.
Monolith got shut down, and
That's
they
crazy.
took Wonder Woman with them to the grave.
Yep.
And I am so sad by this.
Yeah. I mean, we've been kind of talking about Wonder Woman here, there, um,
Yeah,
you know, once in a while, and we've been waiting for it for a long time.
since
I
2021,
one,
we've
I
been
think, yeah.
waiting. So
Um,
4 years or 4 or 5 years almost. Like
only to get canceled
just
over. Oh, what a terrible way too.
just out of nowhere too. It just out of nowhere, like Monolith, they put out the headlines everywhere. It was just like the Monolith is shutting down, along with some other devs like Player First, which did multiverses and whatnot. Everything is just going down the tubes, and Wonder Woman was canceled along with it. And I was so upset because They could have had the opportunity because they worked a lot on this game. They had other
Yeah,
people come in to help them out, and all that work is just gone
for
in an
nothing.
instant. And it makes me really worried for the future of not only WB Games, but also the gaming industry in general.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like a
be
total disregard for devs, like,
Yeah,
completely.
just
It's
an absolute
horrible.
disgrace on the industry. Like,
Yeah.
they put probably so much money into this thing, and I don't know why they they didn't just let them finish. Like,
Right.
I don't imagine had much left
Me
to
neither.
do because there were talks about the game coming out like into 2025, 2026. Like they were
Right.
nearly there. And then they were just like, we're pulling the plug on everything that we put into this. And
I mean,
like,
this is like a Batgirl situation.
yeah,
Um, Even though I think this probably would have been better than whatever Batgirl was gonna be. Still wrong what happened. Um, Regardless of how Batgirl was gonna turn out. But this is just, you know how many people, guys, like, work on these video games? You know how much time is spent, um, late nights, just stress, um, creativity, their energy, like, everything goes into these things.
yeah,
And for it all to just be, and like, these people don't get into the gaming industry just for money. Like, it's like any other job that you have that you actually want to do, that you enjoy. It's like, if you're an architect and you're nearly done the building, and then
yeah,
someone else buys that building and they say you can't work on this anymore, and then they destroy that building to make a new building, that's like gonna crush you. Even if you made $100,000, like, it doesn't matter,
yeah,
because that's your livelihood. That's what you love to do. And something like Wonder Woman that fans have been wanting and waiting for, like you said, like 4 years now. That's a kick to the gut to us too, because
yeah,
we were pulling for these devs, pulling for the studio. We're like, wow, we're finally getting a Wonder Woman game. This is great for not only DC, but probably for WB as well. It would have been great for fans. And
yeah.
then it was so random too. I don't remember if we talked about it in the group chat when it first happened. Maybe we did. We probably did, but
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
it was just so out of left field.
Yeah. Like literally just out of nowhere. I think it might have been in the afternoon, like just some random post came up and it was just like, oh yeah, that Monolith is shutting down and taking Wonder Woman with it. And
Yep.
we were just kind of in awe. It's just like,
I was like,
damn, like,
what?
yeah, I was just upset because
Yeah.
like the way that WB and stuff were talking months ago about how they were kind of focusing on they like part of their focus with the game division, like the fact that it was just like we want to do DC, but mainly Batman. Like that had me worried, and this just kind of reaffirmed that. And
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just at this point, yeah, like I don't know what kind of games we're good. Like it's gonna be, like I said, it made me worried when like who knows how long before we get a Superman game. Like, like it's just I feel like at least for now, it's just gonna be straight Batman focus for all their projects, and it makes me sad because
me too.
like we talked about this on dozens of occasions. There are millions of characters in the DC universe that would make kick-ass games, not just limited to Batman.
Right.
Like, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash,
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow, even somebody like Plastic Man. I would love to see a Plastic Man
Dude.
game.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, honestly, can you imagine a Static Shock game? Freaking sick.
Aquaman, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, like
So many
anything.
characters.
So many characters. They have a whole
You know
laundry
what?
list.
A quick tidbit too to speak on what you're saying is, I saw a Facebook post the other day about, like, the new DCU roster and how, like, Lanterns and,
Yeah.
the Booster Gold show, Waller, all that stuff that's coming out in the future. And the first comment I see is, wow, this universe is going to flop. James Gunn's really using no-name DC characters. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? Like, any DC fan knows who Booster Gold is. Any
Well,
DC fan knows who Amanda Waller is.
that
And
right
like
that that right there, to me, I think that was just general audience talking, doesn't
100%.
care. But you're right,
But
like,
still, it's a shame. Like, people really think that these characters aren't like DC. All it has to offer is Batman.
yeah.
Most people I talk to say that. Um, and that's a real damn shame because I mean, there's like you said, a million different characters. I'm looking at my freaking Justice League poster right above me. I mean, Firestorm. I mean, Supergirl, Superwoman, Barry Allen, Impulse. Like, I mean, Killer Frost. Like, these are all villains and heroes, but like, there's so DC has so much to offer.
Yeah, like the Teen Titans,
I,
the
I was just
Justice
gonna say DC.
Society.
Yeah,
Like,
Justice Society. Like, can you imagine a Justice Society video game?
yeah,
Oh my god, it'd be
set in
amazing.
the 19 like, set during World War II, that'd be awesome.
100%. But this just doesn't. DC can't. Not DC. WB just can't think about that. They just can't.
Yeah, it bugged me so much, and I thought, like, there was a while there where I was kinda holding out hope that maybe they would reconsider, like, the whole Wonder Woman thing and maybe push it to one of the devs that kinda helped them, like, to finish it up,
That
but
would have been right.
that would've been great. Just because they with all the rumors that were coming out, it's just like, well, it could launch late 2025, early 2026, whatever.
Right.
And like, just from that, like, you can tell, like, they were almost there. They were right at that finish line.
Yep.
They were almost ready to cross it, and the whole thing, all that money, just down the drain,
Wasted.
man. And
And they wonder why why they're bankrupt and in
yeah,
debt. You fucking
absolutely,
cancel everything that could make money.
yeah.
No, it's a tragic
If it doesn't have a bat
story.
slapped on its ass cheek, then it's not gonna make money according to them, which is just
Yep.
sad. But
Yep.
if that was the case, though, then we wouldn't have the James Gunn DCU at all. But
Right.
I'm hoping that at some point, with the success of Superman and all these other projects, maybe at some point we can still get games based on other characters.
That's
Like
what I'm
we are
hoping for.
like we want a Superman game. I would love for Wonder Woman to come back in some form or fashion. A
Yeah.
Flash game, Green Light, like all these characters could make really awesome games in all
Yeah.
sorts of styles and stuff. We don't need to have an Arkham style whatever game with Booster Gold. It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be a specific thing. It can be anything. So
That's the thing that Marvel understands about its characters. Is that, well, yeah, successful games are mostly Spider-Man games.
yeah,
Web of Shadows, um, Ultimate Spider-Man, the Raimi movie games, and now recently the first two Spider-Man games, but like Shattered Dimensions.
all right.
But now Marvel's like, well, hold on, we have other heroes too. So what they did, Iron Man VR game, which did well.
They're making
Now,
another Iron Man game, but
yep,
with the Dead Space devs. They're making
yep.
Black Panther. They're making
I was just gonna say
uh,
Black Panther and Captain America. They're making Wolverine, like
Blade.
Blade, and you know what? That speaks to testament that like Marvel knows that DC, in my opinion, has more iconic characters than Marvel as a whole,
I
but
would agree.
they don't use them right. So people think there are no iconic characters. So people are like, "Oh, well Marvel has Wolverine, it has the Fantastic Four, it has Spider-Man, it has way more iconic characters." But it's like, you know why that is? Because Marvel knows how to fucking use them.
Yeah,
That's
they know
why.
how to. They know how to market. They know how
They
to
do.
get.
They're great at marketing. And that's why the MCU just made the DCEU plummet. It just made a joke of it. It didn't help that the movies were trash, but still, like, the marketing game is not even. And I'm so glad that James Gunn has a guy that worked over at Disney and shit to promote Superman. Like, great move on his part.
That just bothers me, like, whenever, like, we were just talking about that guy on Facebook who's talking shit about, like, you know, James Gunn using all these obscure characters. That's probably that same person watched Guardians of the Galaxy and loved it. Like,
Right,
who the
exactly.
fuck knew anything about the Guardians
I didn't.
pre
I knew
2014?
nothing
I
about
didn't.
I knew nothing
I
about the Guardians of
I
the
knew a
Galaxy.
little bit, but I didn't know, like, much. And then once Guardians came out, that was a whole other avenue to get into, and it was exciting and whatnot. But like, it's
Now
just
people that aren't comic readers buy Guardians of the Galaxy comics because of that movie.
there's a video game that's actually really, it didn't
Great.
sell well, but it's great. It's a great game. And so I don't know why people are so up in arms about tr- not being able to experience new things and
The
characters that
best
are a
character,
little more. Yeah.
obscure.
Yeah, I can't wait to know more about these like some of the more obscure things that James Gunn is working on. What was that team that
Oh,
he's
the
putting out?
Authority?
The Authority. I want to know more about them. They seem
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and like I think it was a great move to make like the first DCU entry Creature Commandos. Like so different. No one
Yeah.
would have done that.
And it's
And
not
people are
like
complaining.
he's not doing, a Batman thing, and he's still doing, like, he's doing a Superman movie. They're doing something with Batman, but it's nice that they get to, like, spread their wings a little more. Do
Yeah,
we
like
really just want, do we want a Superman movie, then a Batman movie, then like, it's just going to be
no.
the DCEU again. So,
That's why it's like, oh, we're getting Superman. Then we're getting Peacemaker season 2. Like that's
yeah,
great.
that's great.
Then we're getting Supergirl. I never would have thought Supergirl would have been the second DCU movie. That's crazy to me. But to me that's great. Like start off with the Super Family. That's going to set your universe up. Then we're getting Lanterns. Like wow, we haven't had a Green Lantern centric thing since Ryan Reynolds' atrocity in 2011. Like,
We did
wow,
have that
he's
animated
actually
series.
going to
That's cool.
characters that should have been used in the DCEU from the very beginning. And on the side of all that, we're getting obscure characters. It's like it's a great, best of both worlds.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
true.
really hope that what you said earlier too comes to pass. Of like, I hope that the new DCU with all the weird characters, people start to become, more acceptable of that, and maybe down the line, if a video game's announced of like not Batman, people are going to be excited.
Yeah, it's just like we don't need to weed out Batman completely, but we just need
No,
more people to get interested in stuff that's not particularly related to Batman in a way.
right?
Like, get the Superman train back up, get some light on some other characters, do some more stuff with, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold,
Great.
shit like that. That's one of my favorite things about the DC universe is its wide cast of characters. And
Yeah.
it's not just, the Bat family, the Superman family, all that. It's not the main players. There's tons of other characters they can use in all sorts of different mediums and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't it be sick to have a Red Dead inspired, like, vigilante game at some
That'd be
point?
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that. Give me, like, give them my money. I'll let them take it.
It'd be
Something.
great.
So they have all these avenues they could do with video games, and they're just not doing them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. Um. So one last thing I wanted to talk about with Rocksteady before we get to our final question of the day. So it seems like the next game that Rocksteady's working on is going to be a cross-gen game. So
Oh,
it
I didn't
would,
even know about this.
yeah, it just came out a couple days ago. The reports came out. Um, and they're looking for, or no, that's earlier. Forget about it. So yeah, it would be on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and then depending on when the next generation comes out, it would be on those two. So,
Okay.
which is so weird to me because we're just at a point now where people are having PS5s, and we're already talking about the
Right.
generation after that. So,
Right.
so, um, that's cool. Just, but speaking on what Rocksteady is working on next, and I wanted to talk to you about this. So people think, for whatever reason, they think that the only next logical step we can go for Arkham specifically is a Batman Beyond game.
I think that's not true at all.
I don't
But
think it's true at all. I would love to see a Batman Beyond game done right
me too.
in the Arkham universe, but I don't think that's the only possible avenue to go next.
Me neither.
There's a few, and we've talked about that. We've talked about this many a times.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond would be great. Don't get me wrong, but like Arkham Asylum remake would be great.
I mean, I want that more, honestly.
Me too. Like
Like, I want to play Arkham Asylum on a PS5 decked out. Like,
fully, like, you know, built
fully
from the ground
modernized.
up. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get why they wouldn't, because everybody's happy. We get the original game that started it all, that I love, you love, many people love. Plus, you're giving it to a new generation. So the new generation will play the original.
Yeah.
And we'll always have the original in all its glory to go back to. And it's just more money. That, you know how much fucking money that would make? Oh,
Yeah.
we're remaking Arkham Asylum. And then people are going to be like, "Oh, I'm buying that." Immediately.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
much options with extra content, options with how to rebuild the game from the ground up. I mean, you could look at any remake in the recent years and just see the small possibilities they could do.
That's why I think that's where I would go personally if I was WB, because we're, like I said before, we're in a time where we're just exploding in remakes. We're getting
Right.
remakes left and right of all these different games, which are tugging on people's nostalgia and, you know, making them either go back to a game that they played years ago, or like you said, it's giving this game to a new generation for them to start out with, you know, to see
Yeah.
why these games were great as they were, and maybe be like, hey, I can go back to these other games that came out and, you know, try them out and, keep the money flowing. So
Right.
I don't know why they wouldn't do that with Arkham. Like it's one of the best things they could do, honestly.
100%.
Batman Beyond, though, as the next game, though, it's just, I don't know.
It wouldn't really sit right with me, I don't think.
No, no,
It just seems logical
especially
for
not,
Asylum.
yeah. It's like, you know, after the whole thing with Suicide Squad fucking up the timeline and whatnot, do you really want another game right away that goes like past that and fucks it up even more?
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, the timeline of Arkham is already a convoluted mess as it is.
Yeah.
So Batman Beyond, I don't think is the step right away. I think
No.
you go back, and it is almost the 20th anniversary of this franchise. So
Yep.
where it started. So I think that is where you pivot to next, and, you know, let people
100%.
re-experience Arkham as we remember, but better. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's all I have to say, because, you know,
Yeah.
it makes me so mad when people are online. It's just like, whenever Rocksteady is being talked about with their next game, you know, any sort of updates that come out, it's just like, man, I hope it's a Batman Beyond game, or they can't do
No.
anything but Batman Beyond, or Batman Beyond's the only thing that's going to save this franchise. Like, no, not really.
Not even close.
And I mean, it's like they have, if they decide to do Batman Beyond, there are tons of ways they could fuck it up. So,
Uh-huh.
and I already know that those people that are saying that online, you know, this will save it. Those are the same people that were complaining just last year about, you know, all the shit that was going on in Suicide Squad. So,
Yep.
like, I don't know, like, you know, I mean, it's your opinion, but it's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's what I'm getting at.
So wrong.
So I don't want Batman Beyond next. I would love to get it at some point, but just not
Yeah.
next.
Me neither. Logical explanation for where it should go next is Asylum remake. I mean, we explained why, but you know, it's like it'll also show people it's like, oh, Rocksteady isn't completely garbage.
Yeah.
Like they know that their older games were where it was at and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna remake it so everyone's happy. New players, old players, whatever. Um so I think it's a logical step to go just so that they can get their reputation back even. As like, okay, they still know what they're doing. It was just a rough patch with Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. Only time
Yeah.
will tell. I mean, I want to start that freaking hashtag. Now that I
Yeah.
downloaded Twitter back, I'm starting that. I'm starting to remake Arkham Asylum.
Let's do it.
Let's trend it.
I think they should take a page from what Capcom's doing with Resident Evil, where
Dude, incredible.
um with remake, then next game, and then another remake. So do Arkham Asylum. If Rocksteady wants to take a crack at it, do either Batman Beyond or an Origin sequel, and then remake Arkham City, and
Yep.
then do whatever project they want to do, like switch either or. Could be Batman Beyond, could be Origins, whatever. Just and have it be on a consistent schedule.
Right.
Because those Resident Evil games, like they're coming out left and right. Like
Yeah.
they did, what was it, Resident Evil 7, then RE2, and then a year after that it was Resident Evil 3, then RE8, and then Resident Evil 4. Like they're just consistently making products and making a shit ton of money too. So
Yeah.
I don't
Everyone is
know.
buying.
And if Batman is the moneymaker, that's where you
Do it.
need to go. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So WB, at the end of the day, you're still fucking up, but you have a way to redeem yourselves and make a shit ton of money. So
Yep.
do it. But I think that is going to be it for this episode. This was a lot longer than I thought it was going to go.
Longer than both our podcast episodes.
Yeah, those totaled out to about 30 minutes each, and this one is an hour. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys like us talking for this long. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you think of all this news. Share your thoughts. Give us your feelings. What do you want to see next from Arkham? Sound off. We will be back. Hopefully the next time we do an ITTV, it won't be an hour long, but
And it won't be sad of us just talking about how terrible the current state of WB games is.
yes,
But also guys, be sure to join the Discord. You can see what we're, gonna be when we're gonna be posting. You see when we go live, all that stuff. You can follow us on Instagram. I'm back on Twitter, so I might as well get the Twitter back up and running.
sure.
So you can follow us on Twitter. But definitely the Discord, you can converse with us and, we'll always talk to you guys. You guys are the freaking best. We have a great community and also all the other intensive treatment Arkham fans in the server. There's a lot of awesome people in there. So have at it. You should definitely join up.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, until next time, everyone, have a great night and stay locked up.